Well, boys, we're about to go over a lot. And this isn't just one person. We're about to go over like 30 different things, and then I'm gonna make a follow-up video explaining the whole issue with all of this. This will be a two-part video most likely, and then yeah, hopefully we can move forward unless new shit happens. I want to move forward. I did a Wuthering Waves tournament. I don't even know if the video's out yet, but this shit at this point is just lame. But there's a couple more things we need to talk about because unfortunately, if we don't talk about this, then it's more likely to happen again in the future. And if we hold people accountable who need to be held accountable, then hopefully shit like this won't happen ever again. Atsu called out on every single CC in the entire community, and every single CC is snapped back. One of those is what he considered to be one of his best friends in the form of Dish. Okay, and Dish went live with a public tweet against Atsu, and it does not look good. And you gotta understand, me and Dish, I know that chick does not like my ass, but even then, I don't care having her back on this. I think what Atsu did to Dish was up. I would rather not do this, but since private messages from our circle of trust have been aired out, I need to now show you some of the things to clear up Atsu's accusations against me. This is a horrible situation all around, and I just want to get this part over with. Leaker, are you guys free tomorrow or not? Perhaps this is the circle of trust. Copium. Atsu deleted or kicked us all out of Bozo's server just before he posted his document. I got wind that he might delete the server, so I grabbed screenshots in case he did decide to breach our trust. Very smart. Okay, understand that all these people DMing these things, eventually it's going to come to light in public, okay? All people shown below have given approval to be included in this thread. Accusation 1, I responded and apologized to Brax in the way that I did to save face for PR. I know what was in my heart during these difficult decisions. I am not perfect. I was not always honorable. I realized my wrongdoing, and I do not regret apologizing for it. What is this? I was afraid to speak about anything, and truthfully I still am. I know for a fact I'm going to be harassed like the last person he mistreated, who almost took their own life by the end of it due to conscious community bullying. Ultimately, my mental has been in the glutter, obviously referring to Goose, gutter due to the WoW. Personally, I feel that I owe him an apology. Sorry, I'm getting upset. It's okay, Dish. I'm a bit lost for words. I will do my best to reply in a way that does not undercut you, Atsu, but I need to be honest. The biggest feeling that I have is I really feel bad for Brax. I will speak about myself and how I've handled this, not you. I hope that he can be okay with you. While I'm waiting for Brax's private discussion, I'm sure he would like to let it sit for now. I considered making a video to debunk a lot of these false information, misconstrued things coming from wider community dogpile, but it's not going to have much weight with the current status of public enemy number one. Truly speaking, I feel like you heavily threw me under the bus to save face. Whether that was your intention or not, I cannot tell anymore, which makes me sad as I don't like this feeling of doubt and excess of walking on ATM. I'm sure this will pass, it's just down to the overwhelming stress right now. Much of the document Braxton wrote was hearsay with no proof or without citing third-party sources. He name-dropped you and Joshua, and of course also referred to videos we've been together as me for using you for growth. If you have felt that way, we should be transparent about that with me. If you don't feel that way, I'm disappointed you didn't make comment when that's one of those major guys we've thrown to me. So the other thing is, Atsu, you need to be aware of your own actions. Obviously, surrounding yourself with a bunch of big creators and being feigning ignorance is like, oh, well, I didn't know I was gaining off of them. Like, you think that I don't understand that me doing a podcast with Emmy and Asmongold grows me significantly? Of course I fucking do, and I thank him every fucking day for it. I'm very grateful. You can't just feign ignorance to that bullshit. You know who you befriended. However, I was invited to OTK by fucking Rich, Asmon, and Tips, so I didn't ask them. They invited me, and that's documented. Well, it might have been to your intent. People were using your response, amongst others, weaponizing it against me to validate the whole entire document without a second thought. Any challenge for proof. Having said all of that, your apology to Braxophone was fine and fair. I'm glad that you were all able to get that off your chest. I also understand now there's much to reflect on, which is why I will hopefully be able to discuss with him in the private. I'm sorry for the grief this may have caused y'all too. Before I say anything else, can you explain how these two statements align with each other? I feel like you heavily threw me on the bus to save face, and your apology to Brax was fine and fair. Upon first reading, these two did not seem to match. Are you free to call? I understand you have a lot going on, so now's the time, no worries. Thank you for being honest with me too. You can take my word or not, but my only intention with my reply to Brax was to apologize for where I had judged him with no real formulated opinion of my own, and stop carrying past the initial Anime Expo party spat. And I replied publicly because his post was public. I need to be honest about how I got to that point with Brax and that meant bringing up the first interaction and impression. I am sorry for the grief that caused you. Are you free to call? Yes, I can, but only if you can call me wise right now. It would be easier to get my thoughts and feelings across as opposed to typing. Okay, give me a minute. Let me just say first. Weird for the guy who makes a Google Doc after Google Doc after Google Doc isn't comfortable just typing. Although I'm a mega sleep deprived, so either way, why is he always so EP? Communication is debuffed right now because I do get emotional in conversations about serious stuff. Let me put this in text. Okay, I understand why you think you should have responded to the claims you made, but after I read the document, I had one singular conviction towards Brax, and it was that I owed an apology for my negligence. That document was massive and far too complex for me to respond to. Certainly not before you did. And when I read your response and determined it was not a sentiment I could get behind, so in my reply, I followed my conscience. I had no ill intent. I expected a great volume of backlash, which there is, but Brax's reply to me quieted it down a lot. I would be staying quiet if I apologize privately, and damage only if I apologize publicly. No winning, really. Okay, I think that's it. 1 second, I'll call. I think that's a very fair take by Dish. And I do think, let's just be fair, I do think Dish is also someone who does do a lot of things to save face and win over the general public's opinion. I do think that Dish is someone who does actively pander to the mad Twitter mob. So this is kind of the only platform that Dish is very well regarded on, and I do think she does do a lot of things to save face. And I do think she does pander to the Twitter mob. I don't think that I'm being unfair by saying that. I think that she herself would admit that she does pander to Twitter. Am I crazy here? Feel like that's fair? Once again, that's not illegal. It's not what I agree with, but it's not illegal. You do whatever the fuck you want. If you want to pander to Twitter, then go ahead. Accusation 2, I was previously aware of Atsu's feelings towards Brax, the proof being that I used an emote to react to a message in the comment below. Counter evidence, I told Atsu directly that I do not remember. This frankly was just a miscommunication, my fault and his. And this was, can't believe I have to type this, but although I do not trust nor like him, if you want to be friends with Brax, it's totally fine. I have been told he's going around to Hoyoverse Cast complaining that I'm befriending him and a result getting access. We already proved this to be manipulation. Once again, him saying, oh, he's a bad guy and I don't like him and he could ruin your career, but be friends with him, go for it. It's just not, it's not honest. Why do you have to type that sus to you guys? Sausage Dan Brax can enter the Hoyoverse staff. See, even Fob is getting sussed out from your message, right? So this is the exact example, and this is the exact consequence that you want. You type this, and Fob immediately gets sussed out, right? It's not a good thing to type. You're obviously attempting to spin a narrative. Does not align with what you or Jake have said or Fob, or anyone that took part in this convo. Honestly, Atsu, I don't remember reading the second message in there. Well, you reacted to something in this conversation, so you did read that convo. You can still just react. Sometimes people just react to shit, okay? I don't think that's like, it's like, for example, a long time ago, I liked a video of Venti getting fucked in the ass by a Metachurl. It was literally just a misclick, okay? That's just how it was. Sometimes you misclick. Sometimes you don't really know what you're liking. Everybody thought I was gay. Guys, I'm straight as fuck. But sometimes misclicks happen. Sometimes you can react to something you don't remember to, and I think that's a completely fair thing. I think holding people accountable for what they may or may not have liked on Twitter is fucking cringe. I think even saying that someone's responsible for what they follow on Twitter is fucking cringe. That makes no fucking sense. Sometimes you just follow shit. You don't have the full context. You like one tweet. That doesn't mean that you're responsible for every tweet in that scenario. Makes no fucking sense. This is bullshit. And yeah, maybe they do remember maybe they don't remember. Maybe they do. Regardless, sure, it was an accident. I think that's fair. It is an accident, okay? But I don't think this should be held against Dish. I'm just gonna keep it fair here. I don't think that should be held against Dish. I don't. Accusation 3, I would also like to say, I don't hold that against Atsu either, okay? I can see why he would think that one of his friends would like something based off of what they reacted to. However, I don't think that's hard proof, right? Like maybe just talk about it and say, hey, what did you mean by this? But that's just my opinion. I think this one can be completely thrown out. I think this one doesn't matter at all. That's just my opinion, okay? I'm trying to keep it fair here, guys. It's not always going to be a shit on Atsu dogpile. Accusation 3, I only reviewed Atsu's 55-page document to see if there was anything damaging about me. Again, PR. Counter evidence, he gave a group of us a draft doc to proofread, and I annotated the entire document, annotation with which further corroborate that I held Atsu responsible for the corner he backed and Brax into. I told him once he was finished that I didn't mind what he said about me. I just wanted to ease his mind about sharing it publicly, okay? Slice, Mahi, Dish to a group. No leaker man, please. Ooh, unlucky. Thanks, I go bench now. Any previous files I edited have been revised. I will annotate. That's crazy how he's also adding X-Slice. Well, that doesn't look good for X-Slice at all now, does it? Okay, well, I guess X-Slice is gonna probably have to talk about why he's involved in all this shit, but okay, I guess it is what it is. So it appears a lot of things are changed. Do I read all of this? Honestly, I think that I do. All right, let's get into it. This document is very long, but I feel like it's necessary to go into detail with evidence. Brax's phone, God, it's so bullshit. God, oh God, this makes me want to just, oh God. His bullshit of going through this with evidence and he never provides bullshit and all the evidence he does provide completely fucks him. It's so cringe. So they changed it, and I totally understand why Brax got everything back to me. He replaced the word totally just to make it a little bit more formal. This just looks fine. I think that's very fair to say that this was just making things come across more professionally. I think that's pretty fair. Yeah, emote only. Looks good to me. I don't mind what you said about our responses. I want to understand that those felt bad to read. And even worse, the people who contorted it to a different part of the narrative. Good job. Any idea when Brax was on the doc? No, I think this is demonstrable proof that Dish was not doing this just for PR. I think she was just being a good friend. I think Atsu once again misread the situation and is once again unaware of his own delusion. He's streaming at the moment, so I don't know. I would like to post ASAP so I can move on with my life. Okay, well, look how that turned out. Accusation 4, I am two-faced, supporting Atsu's behavior in private while condemning them in public. Counter evidence. Sorry for any strays you guys will be catching at, everyone. I understand if y'all don't want to associate with me anymore, but just please let me know where we stand in DMs. The silence is too deafening for me at the moment. Hi, Grandpa. I am still processing all of this transpired in the last 24 hours. I don't have thoughts together, but I want to ease your concern about public disassociation. I do not intend to do that. Both Joshua and I care for you as a friend, and friends don't abandon each other because of bad PR. Okay, well, look at how that turned out. This is an extremely complicated situation with so many parties involved, all of which, including myself, have defaulted to varying degrees. You've gotten a lot thrown in your face and at your back, and I'm sure you're overwhelmed. I ultimately think this discussion is for another time when you aren't in the thick of it, but I'll be transparent with you. I was disappointed to read your quote retweeted Brax last night. For most of our friendship, I've experienced your best side. In that message, I feel like I saw your worst, and it made me wonder what it would feel like to be on the other side of the gate. Probably not that far from how Brax feels. I have much more to think and reflect on it myself. I do not think I'm without fault here. Like I said, my apology to Brax. I never tried to get to the bottom of it, either with either of you. didn't do anything aside from snapping at you in my car, coming at home for the Anime Expo party. Perhaps if I had, this public war may have never happened. I'm you, already know this. I think you have much to reflect on as well. You're an excellent coordinator, organizer, friendship glue, networker, and friend. With that comes a lot of curious eyes and albeit unfair assumptions. That combined with your tendency to make and share judgment of others with us had made it for a nasty plate of food at the end of the day. Your tendency to make and share judgments about others with us. Even one of their closest friends has that opinion that they are once again a manipulator, a drama starter, and a rumor spreader. Very not good. I try to not let the things say influence my impression of people, but it's hard to shut it out. I know you say you are not trying to keep us from being friends with people you don't like, and I appreciate that, but your negative impression has usually led me in one direction or the other. And if he's not aware of his own actions, well, then there you go. That right there is incredibly fucking damning, and that right there fully shows that Atsu needs to be aware of the power that he has over the people that care, or in this case, cared about him. This is exactly what I'm saying about. There's no more feigning ignorance. Atsu, you need to hold yourself accountable for the things that you have done to other people. I hope it's not seem like I'm trying to hit you while you're down. You're getting trashed on for sports, so I do not wish to add one more to the pile. If any of this comes off as holier than thou, I truly apologize. Like I said, I do not think I am without faults. I believe wounds from my friends are faithful, and hope that you know this comes from a place of good faith and love. And you are my friend. I hope in this difficult trial, Joshua, and I can be your friends as well. Thank you for the transparency. Of course, not sure your plan is today, but I'm here. Well, I'm waiting on Wax for a private discussion. I'm sure he would like to let it sit for now. You consider making a video to debunk a lot of these false information or misconstrued things coming from the wider community dogpile, but it's not going to have much weight with the current status of public enemy number one. It's not going to have much weight with the current status of public enemy number one. Who's that? So he's either referring to himself with public enemy number one or me. Either me or him. Who knows? Truly speaking, I feel like you heavily threw me under the bus to save face. Whether that was your intention or not, I cannot tell anymore, which makes me sad. So this is a bunch of bullshit. I think Dish has proved demonstrably that she is holding her friends accountable and not just doing this online to save face. I think this is very, very, very fair. I think this is great counter evidence, and good on Dish for saving this. That's also horrible that people will think that Dish is one way online and one way offline. I do think Dish still caters to public opinion. However, I do think behind the scenes, I still think she's still doing the whole virtue signaling thing between friends and doing the whole holier than thou thing. Yeah, no, I get it. Right? I get it. But at least she's consistent. At least she's consistent with those tendencies. Go back, read the red. She was calling him out. Okay. Personally, I think all of this should be removed. It sounds like you're trying to explain, but more like justifying your attitude towards Brax. No, absolutely. I believe we already noted that. Maybe I didn't. I did in my brain, but maybe I didn't say it out loud. Yeah, she's once again calling him out in the own document. I think that's also very fair to say that Dish called him out in his own doc and try to make it about the issues and not just about justifying himself. Okay, great. Atsu did not mention the 5-hour call we had in the Bozo server. How him to confront him for all his behavior, bad-mouthing, judgmentalism, and exclusion. All of us acknowledged that he needed to change, and we held this call ultimately out of love for a friend. We got a lot to go over, guys. For me, I have categorized this situation twofold. There's some straight up lies and manipulation that's going on right now that needs to be handled before family talk happens. Brax brought good and valid points in his post, stuff I've talked about to Brax in private DMs about the stuff in the past and Durag. I have pressured Atsu once before, but he also got really speculative conspiracy theory. Not that this is bad, but this shifts argument from opening the door to a dialogue to perpetuating lies to the public based off of his speculations. I was going to DM Atsu once all this died down and lies are publicly addressed. Hopefully emotions are mostly tampered by then. Feeding off of everyone else's emotional highs isn't a mature way to address issues, although I am thankful that a door has been opened to allow for some healthy dialogue. But emotionally charged conversation usually just led to unhelpful conversations. I don't know why this is blacked out. Not good. I wish it was shown. I know you don't have any contact. That's totally okay. So I understand why you dropped all this in the Discord, but please don't assume we're not going to hold Atsu accountable. Just because you don't see it doesn't mean that it's not there. While the Genshin world is dogpiling, I don't think that means we should dogpile him too, even if some of those accusations have value. Hope you can understand that. I think that's very fair by whoever the fuck that is. Hello, I'm glad you wrote that message, and you got to do right by your own conscience. If it's any comfort to you, I've told Atsu in private that I was disappointed in his behavior and that I hope he does some serious self-reflection. I ultimately think there's a discussion for another time when you aren't in the thick of it. No, we've already read this. I think I'm trying to balance between here for being for him when he's also getting dogpiled by true and untrue accusations, while also making it clear that I'm not in agreement with him and how he judges people. True, he's a very judgmental dude who's caused a lot of rift in the community. Joshua will also probably bring it up, but he denied Joshua entry into the MC server. Would it be alright if I give Joshua the Minecraft server LPs at CC's only? I have said no others already for SOs and plan to keep it that way. Unfortunately, sorry. That's okay. If you wanted to be CC's only, I get it, but categorizing him as an SO when you have so much time together is insulting me. I totally get that. I'm sorry for blobbing so many of you. I would like to sit and call with y'all and talk about it if people are okay with that. I think talking is better than typing for a lot of these kind of things, but I don't know. I think there are many things that y'all have been keeping to yourself and that I also keep to myself, and I would like to personally get these things off my chest and have everyone do so if they wish. I really do appreciate y'all being honest because it sounds like this was very much needed. Great. I do absolutely want to hear what you have to say and open the dialogue about all this. However, this got dumped on you all at once, which is one of our intentions, and in light of it, I fear the conversation now might be reactionary, emotionally charged, and unproductive. I would love to talk to you when you guys are ready. It won't be. I've taken the time off today to reflect, and there are things I want to share with you about how I feel, because WAP is right, especially with Discords, I have been a gatekeeper. Great. So he himself is admitting that he's a gatekeeper. You know what really sucks? I genuinely feel that if Atsu came out with a document that instead of blaming every other person for his issues and just apologize to everybody for this shit that he's done, I actually think it would be a much better space. And I actually think people would have been okay with letting him back into it. And then prove with your actions, not your words, that you want to change. But unfortunately, nobody's going to want to interact with the guy because instead of apologizing, he got bitter and threw a grenade at everybody and never said anything about himself. Spro is Dish's husband. I mean, it's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing. Like, do you know how much it would have meant to me if Atsu just admitted he was wrong? And he admitted that he fucked my life. And he admitted how many people he hurt. And just asked for forgiveness rather than say, fuck all you, fuck you, I'm right, you're all manipulative. When it's like, bro, this is you. I don't know if Atsu is getting therapy. I don't know if he's seeking help. I don't want anything bad to happen to the guy. But the problem is that now he's causing this issue that everybody, and I mean everybody's having to talk about. And let's just be real. In case you guys don't know, the amount of views that have been on everybody speaking out is now over 45 million people on Twitter. 45 million impressions, guys. 45 million. And all he would have had to say is about my previous actions. I'm disappointed with the man who I was. I'm hoping I can become a better person. Not everybody would have believed it, but at least that would have made everybody afraid to interact with him. He's his own worst enemy, and I really hope he does go outside, go on a hike, get fresh air, fucking get help, right? Because like this shit is insane. And you got to understand, that's coming from me. And this guy ruined my life for 2 years, and I'll be real. He never attempted to help me. He doubled down on everything he ever fucking said. He never showed me mercy at all. He went in, he put in the false narratives, and he fucked me. And he still, to today, has never cleared up a single fucking one. And you know, I could go the full Tectone route. I absolutely could. I could go in and say I don't feel sorry for the guy. But the reality is that I have a horrible habit of forgiving people who don't deserve forgiveness. And I have an issue of holding people accountable who have wronged me. And I'm trying very hard to stay on my fucking roots right now. But this is just fucking insane because this is all delusion. It is. He's a delusional, manipulative man. And it is just fucking disheartening to say, bro. Fuck him. I mean, it is what it is, I guess, right? It is what it is. Let's keep going here. Many of the personal issues between individuals in that call have been resolved privately, but there's no need for speculation or attempts to incite further conflict. I bring this call up to show you that we all attempt to show out to the error of his ways. Yeah, I think it's very fair to bring up. He also didn't bring up any statement in support of his updated document, which I shared the other day after he posted it. I don't think he's intentionally lying about me. I do. He has been deeply hurt in a horrible state, and it's not surprising that he's in an emotional state. He is entitled to believe that I am, in his words, extremely calculated with PR. Ultimately, I know it's in my heart. I hold no anger for him. I just need to clear this up before it spirals even further. My hope is that he finds peace and someday happiness. Yeah, well, we'll see. Now, here's the thing. You would have thought that would have ended there. It didn't. So what's crazy is that there was a follow-up. That's what's insane. So Atsu, once again, could not control his behavior and quote retweeted this shit again, doubling down on how Dish is the issue and Atsu's done nothing wrong. Here we go, round 7, boys. Here we go. Let's lock the fuck in. I don't want this to get any messier. Either I specifically didn't share some of the scenarios you've shared here, considering these back up a lot of my claims. A lot of you throwing me on the bus to save face. In this very first image, you specifically said to me you didn't want to undercut me and you only speak about yourself, which you didn't do. You put me on full blast, just like you put everybody on full blast. You read that document fully and saw how many false claims were in there, yet you swept them all under the rug publicly. I think that's also fair to say that she was very aware of everything in that document and didn't bother fact checking it. So I don't think Dish is guilt-free here either. I want to make that very clear. I think Atsu and Dish are both pretty fucked up in this scenario. I'm just trying to keep it fair. I think they both made mistakes 1,000,000%. Would we disagree? Maybe there's an explanation, but off of this, she did proofread the document. And if your job is to proofread a document, you should probably make sure that you're not okaying off on horrible accusations that you have no idea about, or say, I don't feel comfortable checking this. My opinion. There's a reply? Great. Let's keep going here. I approached you privately. She got hard ratioed by Dish in the replies. Well, here's the other thing, and here's the reason why that's fair. I've also been ratioed by Dish in the past. Being ratioed doesn't mean that you're more right. It means that you have more clout. So I just want to make that abundantly clear. Ratioing doesn't mean anything when you're going up against anybody else who has more clout than you. For example, I have barely entered any Twitter clout because I don't give a fuck about that platform, right? I don't give a fuck about Twitter whatsoever. I like my little community page. It's very active. It's very fun. I don't farm PR Twitter clout, so I don't really worry about who ratioed who, right? So let's focus on the facts and not how many updates it has, okay? Because let's be fucking real, Joe Biden won the election, so the majority public opinion don't mean shit to me. I mean, they elected that fucking dumbass as the president. What the fuck is that? What is going on? Okay, where's Trump? Where's Trump at? I approached you privately about what I felt was wrong, and ultimately your response ended with no winning really with whether you went public or private. What do you mean by winning? This was a horrible situation. It's not about winning or losing. If your one motivation was to apologize to Braxton and not save your public image, why on earth didn't you just message him privately? It doesn't make any sense. As I said in my document, I felt like you had absolved yourself of any wrongdoing towards me or Braxton. It was disappointing to have this conversation with you. That's fair. You speak about the group call we had with the boiled down to mostly people just having an issue with another Discord server. I created so that I could play games with some different friends. I didn't add people significant others, which I clearly explained to you guys was nothing personal, but that I was tired of cleaning up after people having internal relationship drama that kept bleeding into these gaming groups. I also think that that's fair. Full disclosure, I think that's very fair. I don't think anybody should feel bad about that, especially if they have no relation with significant others. However, if they've had a previous relationship with them or they're friends with them, then I do think it's a little bit fucked up, just considering them just as a SO. So it's nuanced. It felt so bad to me when I said no to Joshua joining. I love you guys both, and you know I wouldn't cause problems like that, but I want to remain consistent in the name of fairness. However, this still somewhat rubs you the wrong way because at the end of the day, you know exactly what the Discord server was formed in the first place. This is not a server created for bozos. This is a server I created just because I wanted to play Lethal Company with certain people who got cut off from our friend group. What the fuck? Due to the relationship drama. What the fuck? But eventually became, oh, Atsu made a new server. Guess it's our server now, which is also addressed in that exact call. I really hope you're not expecting those relationship issues of other people to be aired publicly, regardless of saying, well, I mean, that's kind of fucking weird to just bring up for no reason. Regardless of saying there's no need for speculation, you're essentially forcing me into a situation where I would have to give context of other people's relationship problems and how that impacted these turn of events, which is once again going to paint me as the bad guy. Of course, people will speculate and demand an answer. Well, yeah, so then why the fuck would you say it? Okay, I mean, yeah, it's just not good, man. It's just simply not fucking good. It is simply not fucking good. I appreciate y'all calling with me that night and made it clear I'm done with subtweeting other people. It's a bad habit I had, and I'm glad I'm quashing it. And you admit it. Great. That is what caused all of this. Many tears were shed that night, and I genuinely thought we all had got closer. There wasn't that case, though, as people started pointing out how badly thrown on the bus I was, and I realized how bad some of you were scapegoating me and overly reliant on me, and this is glue you so often refer to me as. So he's aware of the power dynamic that he has. Great. I'm glad he's aware of that here, but he seems to feign ignorance everywhere else. And the statement you claim was to support me. You state that you, Joshua, and Brax had actually been on good terms since you guys met at the Anime Expo party anyways. This doesn't align with the public narrative you created. I've never manipulated you into avoiding Braxophone and was always aware that you guys were on good terms. Well, that's just fucking demonstrably false with the fucking screenshots that was proven. Then I double down to the entire friend group, which you claim you forgot about, that I did not matter to me who you were friends with. So then you go out of your way to write what you did about me comes off across nothing but a PR move. Lastly, why did you wait to clear my name on so many of the allegations? Why did you wait so long knowing the grief I was going through? Why did it have to be an optimal time for you to do what when the dust had supposedly settled between myself and Braxton? I can only see this as just being for PR. I'm sad it's come to this, and I regret ever confiding you about my discomfort. Womp womp. All right, let's read this real quick. I will do my best to reply in a way that does not undercut you out to, but I need to be honest. The biggest feeling I have is feeling really bad for Brax. I will not speak about myself and how I have handled this, not you. I hope that can be okay with you. I would be staying quiet if I apologize privately, and damage controlling if I apologize publicly. No winning, really. I think no winning doesn't mean that's strictly a PR move. That's speculation. The clarification first specifically pertaining to me and my involvement in this conflict, as well as some insinuations that have been made by some regarding my integrity. No one but my manager and myself get contracts for me. I'm fully capable of earning sponsorships and partnerships of my own and my own merit. Joshua, my husband, myself, and Brax are all on good terms and have been since we met. There are tough conversations occurring behind closed doors. Ultimately, I believe those should remain private. Community members can make judgment calls once they see the results. Atu, is my dear friend, and I plan to keep it that way. Okay, well, not anymore. I'm going to keep it real. TwitchCon 2024 is going to be weird as shit. It was already weird as shit last year when content creators saw my ass, put their head down, and speed walked away. It was already weird as shit where I see Atsu on a fucking escalator and I wave at him and he turns away. Weird as shit. It's gonna be weird as shit. And I am stoked for it, man. This said, it is clear that we are never going to reach an understanding of all that has happened or the motives behind each decision. I'm no longer going to try to reason with you. You are beyond reasoning with. It's so heartbreaking that it's come to this, but I am moving on. Hey, Atsu, to quote you, all you do is deflect. All you do is deflect. Everyone's always the enemy. You have no accountability. You need to stop deflecting. If you don't want to believe me, Atsu, at least believe yourself. So this looks like another person calling him the fuck out and it just doesn't look good, and it's reinforcing everything everybody has already said. Not a good look, and Dish's husband weighs in too. If I have to read another public proclamation from you about how much you love us while your actions have been the complete opposite for quite some time now, I might truly have to reevaluate the intention of our friendship from the start. And my friendship with you wasn't even built on some CC-type networking. I felt like the times we saw each other were bonded over some real-life stuff and not really even gotcha games. Go Liverpool. I am sorry for what's happened to you, Atsu. Truly, when I heard about it, I was sick to my stomach. But please, please stop masking this wrecking ball you're throwing around with love. I was hurt when I read this in your doc that your most recent LA trip was essentially a vibe check with us. I was genuinely happy to see you following the mess that happened a few months back. I don't know what else to say except that I hope in the next chapter in your life, everything is as you hope it to be. I mean, this looks like a man who's losing everything and is attempting to take everybody down with him. It's a shame. Really hope Atsu gets the help that he needs. Hopefully he goes to therapy, takes care of himself. And as for everybody else, I think you'll be very interested in watching my next video because there's one more very important thing that I have to say. So please like, comment, subscribe to this channel. I have something very important to say. And yeah, let's try to put all this shit behind us. Hopefully nothing more comes out, but if it does, I will be covering it. Okay? Appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.